A man was walking on the beach when he picked up a box. It looked like a toy box, so he brought it home for his son. However, the son wasn't interested in it either, so he put it aside. But at night, the box suddenly glowed and had the sound of the drums. He curiously approached, he opened the box, and the game started. There's a curse or a magic that sucked him into the magic box, and his house also became strangely deserted. 20 years later, that box got lost in a school library. A group of friends were being punished for cleaning the library. While cleaning, Frank saw that mysterious box. They were curious about this, so they connected it to the TV to try it out. The display let everyone choose their characters. When they finished choosing the character, the game started. The drums started to sound again. They were confused and didn't understand what was going on. After that, Spencer was sucked in, then one after another. They didn't know how to get out. And then they actually turned into the characters they chose. Spencer has turned into a professor of geology, Bravestone. His body also turned into a muscular man. And Mouse turned into a zoologist, Fridge. The shy girl Ruby turned into a beautiful commando. Her hot body is a powerful weapon. Bethany turned into a professor of cartography, Odoron, from a hot girl to a fat man. The four of them also noticed changes in themselves, and these bodies became so different from their original appearance. Very quickly, they also realized that they were sucked into the game. There were 3 strange black lines on their wrists. When they were arguing, Bethany was attacked by a hippopotamus. The hippo killed her to the shock of everyone. But then, she relieved and fell from the top of the tree. Bethany panicked as if she had just had a nightmare. Before everyone could calm down, another hippopotamus chased after them, and they hurriedly ran away. Suddenly a driver came to save them. They didn't think much and immediately got in the car. Right after that, the driver gave them a task, to return this gem to its original position. After returning to the correct position, they'd only need to read the curse Jumanji aloud to be released from the game. And the driver didn't forget to give them the map of Jumanji. They also got to know the strengths of their chosen characters. And only Frank knew his weakness was eating sweets. Bethany is a map expert, so she guided them. They thought it would be easy to complete the quest, but there were people standing in the way. These men in black are Van Pelt's henchmen, and he's the bad guy who wanted to steal the jewel. He created this curse. The 4 of them had to run away from the pursuit of the black people. The rain of rockets was coming towards them, but not a single bullet hit the 4 people. Together, they ran into the forest to escape the pursuit of the black people. They split into 2 teams to escape. Just in time of danger, Ruby discovered her skill. The character she was playing had amazing fighting skills. And Spencer's group took out the boomerang from their backpack, and threw it away for testing. They supposed it couldn't do anything, but after a while, the other guys were defeated by the boomerang. Because Frank's legs were too short to run fast, Spencer had to carry him and run. After running for a while, they reached a dead end. They had no choice but to jump down. The assassins, after seeing no one else, left the place. After a while, the 4 of them were able to swim to shore. During that time, Ruby was hit by a bullet that led to her death, but soon, she was revived and fell from the sky. When they checked, they found that she had lost a black line on her hand. Till the moment, they understood that each of them would have 3 pregnancies. When they use up those 3 lives, they might die forever. Hence, Bethany and Ruby only gave him 2 more lives. The map that the driver gave them was torn in a corner, and their first task was to go to the market to get the remaining piece. The way to the market is also extremely difficult. They had to go through small roads that are difficult to walk, but below is an abyss. At this point, Two men in the group had an argument and Frank pushed Spencer into the abyss. Therefore, Spencer lost a life. After resurrecting, he also taught Frank a lesson. At this point, Frank also knew wrong about his actions, and what they needed to do now was to unite and continue their journey. They finally made it to the market, but it seemed that Van Pelt's people were still watching them. The four of them were hungry by now and stopped at a sweet shop. But Frank forgot his character's weak point is cake. Right after that, he was blown up like a bomb, and then, he relived and fell from above. At this moment, a little girl was running to find them. She seemed to know the whereabouts of the remaining map piece. The girl immediately led the way for the four of them. They went to the place where the thing people was finding was in. After saying that, the girl left in the surprise of four people. No one knew what was inside. Spencer decided that he would be the one to open the lid of that basket. When he entered the game sound of the drum resounded. Just opened a lid. A snake poked its head out. Spencer hurriedly closed the lid. Then they decided to kill the snake together. Right after opening the lid, the snake immediately rushed to Ruby. Luckily, Spencer quickly caught it. Then Frank broke his two fangs. They found a paper wrapper in the basket. Inside is not a map but a black elephant head statue. In the paper, it said that they should climb when they saw this elephant head. When they went out, they met the people in black, so they continued to run away. Spencer ran ahead but was stopped by some guys. With his muscular body, he easily defeated them. But soon, Van Pelt appeared and threatened them with a gun. When they were about to strike, someone threw a smoke bomb. Then a mysterious figure rushed in and led them to escape. That person led four people down his secret passage, so he was the first player of the toy set. After being given the box by his father, he opened it and was sucked in. Then Alex led everyone to his home. His killing point in the game is flying the plane, and his weakness is that if he gets bitten by a mosquito, he will die. Since there was no concept of time here, he didn't know that he had been lost here for more than 20 years. But here, people don't age with time, and he only had one life left. Then they moved together to a warehouse, inside which contained all the transportation in Jumanji. But there are soldiers outside, so they need to distract them. They came up with a plan that let the hot girl Ruby seduce them. Right after that, she walked seductively towards the soldiers, and made confusing movements to attract them. The rest of them also reached the warehouse, and broke the door inside. Inside there was a rather old helicopter. Ruby was also tired from the soldiers outside, so she defeated them so she wouldn't mind. In the distance, there were more guys coming. Now it's time for Alex to show his abilities. When the soldiers arrived, he also flew a helicopter to take everyone away. Below, the soldiers started shooting, and hit the helicopter's propeller. The helicopter almost fell to the ground, but thanks to Alex's talent, it stabilized again. The propeller was broken, and they couldn't fly high, and behind them were albino rhinoceros chasing them. Spencer risked his life to climb up to fix the propeller. Thanks to that, the helicopter was successful in flight. Unfortunately, Frank dropped a gem. Losing the gem means they couldn't return to the real world. They quickly went back to look for the gem. Very quickly they found it. However, the rhinos were surrounded so that no one could take the pearl. So Frank sacrificed a life as bait so that Spencer was able to get the gem. At this time, Frank was also trampled to death by rhinos, and everyone on the helicopter was ready to revive Frank and catch him. Then they landed on a hill. While having fun talking, Alex got bitten by a mosquito. That's Alex's weakness, so he's slowly dying. Bethany did CPR to save him. A black line on Bethany's hand had gradually disappeared, and they also knew that the game could transmit life to each other through breathing. They kept moving for a while until finally they found the jaguar statue in the distance. When they reached the place with the jewel, the torches on both sides of the road were lit to create a path of light. Then they also found an elephant head statue like the one they found at the snake's place. They decided to follow the paper and climb up there. Spencer was the one who volunteered to climb up. His body was big, but he climbed fast like a monkey. When climbing up, he met a squirrel and fell down. Right after that, he was attacked by a jaguar, and Spencer sacrificed another life. After resurrecting, he immediately ran back to everyone, and Spencer only had one last life left. Soon after, Van Pelt's men chased her. The four of them immediately split into action. Ruby rushed out to fight with the minions alone. She quickly defeated all of them, leaving only one left, and was forced into a trailer by him. Fortunately, Spencer appeared and blew him away. Spencer took his car and ran to the Black Panther statue. The jaguars saw it and they chased him. He quickly took out the flamethrower and burned it and made a circle. The jaguars were trapped in the circle of fire. When Spencer reached the jaguar statue, Van Pelt caught Bethany and brought her out to threaten him to give the gem. At this point, Frank appeared with the jewel in hand and rode the elephant, but soon the elephant lost control and threw him and the gem. That distracted Van Pelt. Everyone rushed to attack him, and Ruby ran up to pick up the gem. The gem was in the nest of thousands of snakes. Ruby risked her life to go into the snake's nest. Her bravery was stoned. But soon, the snakes raised their heads. Van Pelt defeated the other two and chased here. The snakes followed his gaze and turned towards Ruby. Then, she was attacked by one snake, and died in a second. At this point, Spencer had rode to the Black Panther statue. Ruby began to revive and fell down. She fell over the leopard statue, and gave the gem to Spencer. After getting the gem, Spencer put it back in its place. So the mission of them was completed. Then they chanted the spell, Jumanji, to break the curse. A blue light enveloped them and Van Pelt also turned to ashes, and was carried away by the wind. Then the sky was clear again, and the person who assigned them the task also appeared, and he informed them that the Jumanji World Quest had been completed. It's time for everyone to leave the Jumanji world and return. He shook hands with each person in turn, and then they immediately returned to real life. Then they went back to the library like at first, but Alex didn't show up to everyone. They walked back together on the familiar road. That gloomy house was back to normal. They suspected that it was Alex's house. Suddenly in the distance they heard a familiar voice. The person who saw it also gradually approached Alex, and they had never met in real life. But as soon as they met, they felt familiar and easily recognized each other. The five of them went back to their normal lives.